This is Sameh Khalatbari, and Sameh is a San Francisco Bay Area artist born in Tehran, Iran in 1980. Sameh is a contemporary surrealist painter and a teacher and an entrepreneur. Her art reveals her life experience and her thoughts, often incorporating in her art familiar Persian traditional symbols. She graduated from the University of Tehran with a Master's of Fine Art, and she's had more than 22 art shows around the world. In 2013, she was granted a Genius Visa as an extraordinary ability artist. So now she lives with her husband, Ali, who's sitting next to her, in San Jose, and she established a company called White Square Group in 2018 that does interior design and staging, as well as advertising and marketing. And just as a personal note, this summer I finally got to see the play Hamilton. Anybody here see that play? A few of you. It's not to be missed, but it made me think of Sameh because this knew one of the original immigrants, Alexander Hamilton. He keeps singing, "I'm not giving away my shot." He has this belief that if he puts out 150% of his efforts, there's nothing he can't do in this new country. And you're going to hear some version of that from Iran with Sameh's story. So welcome her.
I want to thank Ellie to invite me, and special thank to Elliot to help me a lot to put everything together for my story. Imagine it's wartime. The war between Iran and Iraq. Sorry, I don't know why. Okay, I tried a lot. Okay, imagine it's wartime, the war between Iran and Iraq. And cities are being bombed, and powers are out, and we are all sitting in the dark room, my parents and my both sisters, with a lantern that tries to lighten up the room. And this is the time that I find a piece of paper and start drawing the lantern just to entertain myself. And my mom was watching me. Wow. She has talent in drawing. I have to find her an art class. I was 7 years old at that time, and she found me an art class. I was so thankful for that, but the art mentor just painted Iranian traditional painting, which is based on Iranian poems and religious stories. And the funniest part was I was too shy to say, I don't like this style. And I sat and learned for more than 6 years. Due to the intricate lines and shapes, it can take more than a year to complete a piece. There are 7 stages to each painting. I remember more than once I worked on a painting, go through all 7 stages, and then came a day he would criticize an imperfection and tear it up. And I had to do it again. That's what finally emboldened me to speak up with my parents. I don't like this art class. And they found me another art class with Ministry of Culture, and finally I was able to got my diploma in Iranian traditional painting. While I was in high school, I decided to be a doctor. So I picked science major to please my parents. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to pass the challenging university entrance exam for 3 years in a row. Therefore, I decided to switch to business management major. I was able to pass the test, and I attended to the school for 4 years and got my bachelor in business management. Fortunately, it was during those university years that finally I was able to meet a mentor, work with an art mentor who opened my world to a wide range of modern art. Sorry, again. I flourished under his guidance and encouragement, and I had several solo art shows. I don't know why. I had several solo art shows, and I hired as a university lecturer. He encouraged me to get my master in fine art, and he prepared me for the test. And I passed the first step, and the second step was the interview, the funniest part. Imagine, I entered to the interview room with full of excitement, and a woman in full hijab sitting in the middle of the room, and started asking me questions about my religion. I was wondering how these questions are relevant to art. She started, first question, how many times a day you have to pray? Okay, 5. And second question, tell me the full structure of the fourth one. I don't know. And she's shocked. And she failed me. And she didn't even ask me one question about art. And she failed me. And evidently, I have to apply it again in a year. So I applied to different university in a year and got accepted. But almost all my professors were skeptical about my ability as an artist. She's a business management grad. What could she know about art? But I was good, my artwork was good enough thanks to the years of doing art as a freelance artist and practice and skill development. Going through the master programs, 2 years of master program was the best 2 years of my life to that point. I love being part of an environment full of passion and dedication to making art. As an art student, you need to know human anatomy. You need to know how to draw a human figure, which is traditionally learned through sketching from live body. But public nudity is not allowed in Iran. And most of our professors used to set up secret classes. They used to set up secret classes at their own personal risk for us so that we could learn through the live body. We have some limitation about what you can exhibit in art galleries. I don't know why I'm crying. Okay, I'm artist, you know. I'm sensitive. We have some limitation about what we can exhibit in art galleries. The art gallery should send picture of every painting to the Ministry of Culture and get them approved. There was a period in which my painting reflected my personal sadness and also my disappointment with politics following a rigged election. And I was preparing for my upcoming show, and I was taught my artworks were abstract enough to get the permission. But at the day of critique, my art mentor told me, no, they are suspicious. You have to change them if you are not looking for trouble. And I said, I like them the way that they are. And he said, I know, but they won't approve them. You have to change them. And I changed them. I went around it just by changing my color palette. You know, at the end of the day, I'm an artist and I know how to convey my exact message just by changing my color palette. In theocracy, there are some restrictions when it comes to sexuality. Let me tell you a story. I was 21 years old and I asked my father for permission to attend a one-day tour to the north of Iran. There we detained for being boys and girls, just walking, talking, and laughing. Of course, we were fully dressed. But we picked up with local police and spend the night in 2 cells divided by gender. It was scary, but it was interesting too, because we danced and sang till morning, which they didn't like it. My father was judge at that time, and he was able to pull some strings to get the girls released with just a fine, but the boys sentenced to lashes. I know how that must sound to you, but for me, it was something in the background of my life in Iran. Something like a wallpaper. Something like a wallpaper that you get used to it. This is the most emotional part, imagine. Iran was where I had a very good life. I was very connected to my family. So the religious restrictions were not the reason that I came to the US. I always wanted to visit the United States, but as we don't have US embassy in Iran, it's hard to get a visa. But I received one from US embassy in Dubai. I received a special one, a visa for extraordinary ability under artist category. So the new phase of my life started at July 2013. Okay. Sorry. Once I was here, my whole mentality changed, and I recognized how much further I can go as an artist, just based on my own ability. I have a restless mind and deep desire to succeed. And here in the US, I learned that to succeed, you must not afraid to point out to your accomplishments. I had already come a long way from a shy little girl, and I'm standing here and I can say, I'm extraordinary and I love to be famous. Yeah, why are you laughing? For 3 years, I was really homesick. In Iran, we always live with our families until we get married. So I miss them a lot, and I call home every day and every night. I still do that. But I knew I had to stay in order to fulfill my career ambitions. I began to get some freelance graphic design job, and eventually I got hired as a visual designer with a construction company. And I painted at night. I thought of it my weaknesses whenever I felt like returning to the comfort and the luxury of home in Iran. My O1 visa, the name of my visa was O1. The O1 visa required a plan. So as part of that, I held my first exhibition in the United States in a gallery in LA, painting furiously until 2 to 3 in the morning to get everything done. The gallery owner encouraged me to donate one of my artwork to a nonprofit organization to make some connection. And I began to volunteer my graphic art skill to nonprofit organizations and have been able to make very many connections for work through them. You know, we don't have volunteering in Iran, so the whole pathway was completely new to me. About 4 years ago, I met Ali, my husband, through a family friend in Berkeley. Ali came to the US 12 years ago. He had a very good life in Iran. He had a good job in Iran, but he wanted to get out due to his opposing to the governmental system. I can say that he is the big reason for me to get over being homesick. And I like to say that he made my life colorful after several years of gray. We returned back to Iran 4 months ago to get married, and I'm mute. You did that. And we had a lavish wedding in Iran with 350 guests in a beautiful venue outside of Tehran. But the sad part is we cannot imagine go back and live there right now. Our friends there are not happy because of the political and economical problems. They see no future for themselves. It was very interesting for me. When I came here, it was really interesting to see people do New Year resolution because I never saw in Iran. Now, every year I have a big New Year resolution with 1,000 things on it because I can imagine brighter future and I cannot stop dreaming. I opened my company last year, which does interior design, staging, and marketing and advertising. Ali helps me with my business a lot. I love my business. I love the challenges as an entrepreneur and as an artist. And also, I constantly painting to getting prepared for my next show, hopefully in winter. Don't forget, I told you I want to be famous. So I work a lot. You know, this country where the opportunity is out there to achieve your dream if you really work hard. We don't take any opportunity for granted. We are here to live up to our full potential, but we always miss our families because we cannot have them here, thanks to the travel ban. Thank you.